We'll wait to see whether it cuts up as the game progresses, but this is a big opportunity for the likes of Bruce Jitte and Zadkiewicz, who we've already mentioned, Sporanovic, Nikolai Topor-Stanley, James Troisi, James Holland. Very much the young Turk. Certainly in his case, he's off against Schloberligi, of course, once this match is over. And a chance for them to stake a claim for the campaign to come later on in the year. The Rookeroos begin the final act of the group stage. Excluding North and Kuhl, this team has just 26 caps between them. Can Pim's prodigies smash an already broken China, Robbie Slater?
Well, it's a wonderful occasion for those players, Simon. 70,000 people here in what is a dead rubber in respect to qualification. China, a disastrous campaign coming off, you mentioned, a disappointing Asian Cup. Surely that coaching duo is under threat now. But for these Olympic team players, 6 of them, more on the bench, it's a wonderful occasion here to show what they can do at another level. And Pim Verbeek is stuck with his 4-2-3-1 in spite of all those changes.
Yep, he does like that formation, but it certainly worked for him in Doha last weekend. And how useful for him to have the services of Harry Kuhl, who really is relishing this responsibility of the captaincy.
Well, he's led by example. Harry's playing in his much preferred position, playing off the front man tonight. Of course, he's led the line and led it very well. He surprised me and a lot of people with his dominance in the air in a lot of those games, particularly in the game at Suncorp against Iraq, where his header took all the vital 3 points for Australia and set up their qualification. We're playing just in behind Jitte. He's got a license to roam. And interesting on formations, what Pim Verbeek has said this week, that nobody in world football plays without 2 screeners now. He's referring to the Euros as well, of course, being played at the moment.
Well, how times have changed. China trying to launch the first real serious threat on goal. There's an offside flag up against the central striker, who may have been Gao Lin or even Chu Bo. There is Chu Bo, who's suffered through injuries throughout his career. He's one of the more experienced Chinese players, forming part of a front duo with Gao Lin, who plays for Shanghai Shenhua.
Well, they're missing their 2 big guns, aren't they? Han Peng and Zheng Ji, both on the bench. I thought Zheng Ji might start, but it'll be interesting to see what China do. They do like to play a 4-4-2. Wang Dong on the right-hand side, Du Zhenyu on the left-hand side. They will change those 2, the number 8 and the number 6. But they were very defensive, and you went back to that match that Australia played and got the 0-0 draw where China missed that penalty in the last minute. And we see the offside. Right decision. But that did cost them dearly, you think, confidence-wise in their campaign, but they sat back at home. Interesting to see what they do here. Whether they come here to put on a performance, play for pride.
Well, you'd fancy they've got to, really. That's one of the reasons why they brought this full-strength squad. This is Gao Lin, under pressure from the muscular Miller Jedinak. It's a bit too muscular for the Saudi officials' liking. China have themselves a free kick. Which goes to the feet of the tricky Du Zhenyu. Plays for Changchun Yatai. Caused Adelaide United no end of problems in the second Asian Champions League encounter in China. China, of course, is where most of these young Socceroos are headed. Those Olympic Games in Beijing. Maybe Harry Kuhl will join them, and here he is trying to scamper after that loose ball. Song Zhenyu with the clearance to his opposite number.
And the keeper's done well there. Come off his line very quickly. Was misread by Yu Long. Interesting battle there for Bruce Jitte up there tonight. He's going to move to Turkey. He's going to lead the line at the Olympics, and he's up against 2 very, very strong defenders in Wei Feng and Yu Long. Great test for him. Sorry, Simon.
Just a little glimpse again of Harry Kuhl's renewed confidence and vibrancy in this Australian side. That was a lovely turn away from trouble. Not quite matched by the pass. What price Harry Kewell in Beijing, Robbie? He's hinted that he might fancy it.
Well, I think it'd be great for Australia. Great for him to play in the Olympics. Australian fans would love to see him. Now, whether that's going to be possible with his negotiations with whatever club he's going to go to, I wouldn't imagine they'd be too keen on seeing their new signing disappear off to the Olympics, but maybe that might be part of the negotiations, that Harry does play in the Olympics. I'm sure Graham Arnold would love to have him.
This is Sun Xiang. Du Zhenyu's touch. Zhao Zanbo. Jade North. It's almost a permanent fixture these days in the Australian lineup, whatever version. Over the top looking for Jite, who's a willing runner. Turns by Zhu Yunlong. China had themselves the throw.
James Holland playing on the right-hand side of that three next to Harry Kewell. James Troisi on the left, who looks so good in training over in Dubai and Doha. James Holland not really a naturally wide player. He'll look to tuck in off that right-hand channel.
I was actually speaking to his club boss, Gary van Egmond, before this game. He was saying he's considering playing James Holland in a different position for the Jets next season. We'll come back to that in a moment. Here is Holland, fed by Kewell. Valeri, right idea, looking for Troisi. Put to safety by Zhang Yaokun. But Holland may play in a defensive midfield role as part of a two-man screen next season. That's what Gary van Egmond tells me, something he's considering. Topos Stanley, meantime, carries long. There's a little nudge there by Miller Jedinak, but what about that? He feels that James Holland that sort of position might well suit him.
Well, I think that'd be disappointing from my point of view. I think he's a player who's got some Timmy Cahill-like. If you see some of his runs come into the box where he did it in the Hyundai A-League last season, comes in late.
I'll qualify it by saying he would give him license to break free with just the one screener.
Oh, well, I like that better. I think he makes very, very clever runs, and it's something you can't coach. Timmy Cahill does it. You're always wondering, how is he always in the right place at the right time? Well, I think James Holland has some of those qualities. All right, so he'll be a defensive screener with a license to attack. Now, that's a new one.
Dutchie is the master tactician.
He's the champion coach. Who am I to question him? The way James Holland is playing in the development of his career, how long are we going to see him here for?
Again, Jedinak penalised. Looks a little frustrated, Miller Jedinak. That's 2 or 3 times in the space of 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes referees, when they're different parts of the world, have slightly different interpretations as to what is a foul and what isn't. Michael Petrovic winning just his 6th cap tonight. Launches it long towards Kewell. Again, Australia penalised.
Yeah, just a bit niggly in there. Anyway, too many free kicks. China actually playing with a 4-5-1, really. You think it's only Gao Lin up front. Wang Dong's actually tucked in off the right-hand side, and it's more Chu Bo playing outside right.
Comes off the head of Matthew Sporanovic, making his first full start in the green and gold. He is now 100% officially locked in for Australia after all the debates. Watch him play in a competitive game. That's it.
Well, you could say it's been a tentative start on both sides. Not a lot of tempo or intensity in the game. Of course, with all the changes, Australia playing this side for the first time together.
Nice luxury for Pim Verbeek to have, though, to be able to select another team of this quality. There's the possession stats early on. China just edging it 54 to 46.
Well, there has been some criticism of the full team not being out here tonight, but you're right, Simon. What it does now is it gives Pim Verbeek, at this level, to have a look at other players and whether they can step up, because with injuries, you just never know. We got, of course, the draw this Friday in Kuala Lumpur for the next round. There's 8 matches coming up. You only have to look at this campaign where we've missed Timmy Cahill, Lucas Neal, Mark Viduka, so you need other players.
This is a strong test for them against a very experienced Chinese team. That's well done by Nikolai Topol-Stanley from Perth Glory, winning just his 3rd cap. He's holding up Chu Bo. And known as Hyphen to his teammates. Sporanovic winning just his 2nd cap. Got a few minutes off the bench against Ghana. This is Zhang Yao-kun. With a swivel of the hips. It's just out Fox Topol-Stanley. China with just 3 points from their 5 games in this group. That's a decent centre, though, away by Zadkovic. Picked up by Sun Jiang, who fires one in. What a strike! China in front. An absolute bullet from Sun Jiang.
Well, it's a great strike from the number 3, Sun Jiang. And what sets it up is his first touch. And he has the time, maybe not enough urgency to get out there and close him down. How wonderful he's done here. Whips the ball across. It's knotted out by Zadkovic. Look at that first touch. Sets it up, hits it on the half volley. No chance for Pekovic, who might be just a touch disappointed to be beaten on his near post. But certainly a lot of power in the strike.
It's only China's 3rd goal in this group. Oh, what a goal. You can maybe ask a question or two as to whether the man was closed down quickly enough, but you can't deny the quality of that hit from Sun Jiang. Brilliant stuff. Now, what do Australia have in response? That's a good play by Song Zhenyu. And Sun Jiang, who's played club football in Europe with PSV Eindhoven in Holland, strikes a hammer blow against Australia's Dutch coach.
He certainly hit it sweetly. It was a great run from Lu Jiang, the number 15. Did so well to whip the ball across. It was headed out by Zadkovic. He still had a lot to do, Sun Jiang. Well, it's exactly what you don't want to do at home, especially a young team playing together for the first time. See how they react.
Well, you could hear a pin drop around ANZ Stadium at the moment. Australia defending a very proud home unbeaten record. They've not lost a World Cup qualifier on home soil since 1981, when New Zealand won 2-0. So they certainly won't want to cough up that proud record today.
Well, what it'll do now is open up the game. It was a very slow start. There wasn't a lot of tempo in the game, but now Australia at home. Just mentioned that proud record. Well, they've got some work to do now.
This is James Holland. Overlapping up from the back was Ruben Zadkovic. Showed a little bit too much of it to the fullback.
His touch just let him down on the side there. Took it a little bit too far, and in the end it deflected off Sun Jiang.
Well, scored his 4th international goal on the occasion of his 44th cap. Here's Ruben Zadkovic. All cries of Rubes, but the pass wasn't forthcoming, at least not accurately enough. Here comes China again. Gao Lin, Miscontrol, foul surely on Carl Valeri. Two number 6s in combat, that's Wang Dong. Plays for Changchun Yatai, current champions of the Chinese Super League. Zatkovic's chip, headed by Jite, now Kuehl. And James Aloisi in his sights, James Troisi I should say. Kind of confused between the Troisis and Aloisis. Both South Australians, of course. This is Zhang Yaokun. As far as top of Stanley, now Kuehl. This rough patch of turf towards this near touchline. The ball does tend to bobble a bit. Areas in the centre have been relayed and the ball runs a bit more true.
Just need a bit more zip, the Australians. See that ball as it went out to Harry Kuehl and come across. Didn't move it quick enough.
Nearly 16 minutes, and China, as you can see, have made more inroads into Australian territory than the other way around. It's been a bit of a nervy start by these young Socceroos.
Well, it's understandable as well. Very youthful side, that's offside. As that ball was kicked to Zhenyu. I just need to say, I just think two screeners, Jedinak, Carl Valeri maybe sitting a little bit too close to the back four. Which then opens up that pitch towards the next line of three, and Jite just in front of them. It's giving the Chinese quite a bit of room in the midfield. They both seem to be checking back to get the ball off the centre halves of the fullbacks. You only need one. The other one should be pushing on a little bit further, making angles.
This is Jade North, the Newcastle Jets, at least for now. Lovely touch by Kuehl, and he immediately went for goal. Said he got a stamp as well, just informing the referee of that fact. Meantime, here's the goal scorer, Sun Qiang. In field for Liu Jian. And towards Chu Bo. Now Wang Dong. Clever play by Zhang Yaokun to Li Weifeng. China have made very good, very confident start. Pressure's off them, of course. Lovely touch from Gao Lin. Chu Bo is free wide right, but well, Du Zhenyu just couldn't thread it through. Otherwise, it would have been a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Well, Australia trying to turn defence into attack with Jite. Li Weifeng showing all his experience. Troisi. Again, Li Weifeng. It's his body in the way.
Well, he's just in front of him, isn't he? I think James Troisi there. He'd isolated Weifeng. He's a centre half. Drawn out onto the flank. I thought it was a perfect opportunity for him just to have a go at him there. Drop the shoulder, try and get around the outside. It's very quick.
Zhenyu with the clearance. He's just become the Chinese #1, taken over from Zhong Lei, who's on the bench tonight. Playing just his 7th cap. Foul by Gao Lin on Matthew Sporanovic. Nowhere to go for the young Nuremberg defender.
He's offside, he's come back from an offside position. Jite.
Just a little bit flat, isn't it, by Australia?
Rather sloppy. It's an example example of that. Bruce Jete just strolling back into position. Now a better opportunity.
Space for Harry Kewell. Support if he needs it from James Holland. In towards Jete, who got a portion of it, and that took it away from James Troisi on the far post.
Great play from Harry Kewell on the right. And Bruce Jete just centimetres from getting on the end of that. Look at his outside of the left foot. He wants to take that around. It's just stuck a little bit between his feet, but readjusts well and picks out Jete, or nearly picks out Jete in the middle. Australia's best chance.
Better by Australia. Just starting to perhaps find their way rather tentatively in this game. That's a foul by Troisi.
It was rather soft on Jambeau. The Chinese just a bit sharper at the moment.
Wang Dong will spread it wide left for Du Zhenyu. There's problems here again for the green and golds. Zatkovic stands up well.
Oh, that's silly. That's inexperience. That's a back pass. Ruben Zatkovic plays it to him from a metre. Petkovic had no alternative. It's not funny, but it certainly looks rather comical. Is Du Zhenyu, the ball doesn't go out. Zatkovic just rolls it into Petkovic's arms, and that just shows you how nervous they are at the moment. That's a mistake that a player at this level wouldn't make.
Well, he did the initial bit right, Ruben Zatkovic. It really gave his goalkeeper no time to react at all, to get his hands out of the way, use his feet. He'll be kicking himself.
And this is how China scored a week ago, from a back pass.
Again, an eerie quiet descends over the ANZ Stadium. Wang Dong will deliver this free kick. Petkovic has a wall of three guarding the near post, just in case he tried the sneaky one.
It's a difficult position for China here. He's so close, right on the byline.
What's he going to do? Well, eventually, not much. A very ambitious shot by Zhu Yunlong, all of 35 metres.
Ambitious shot is being very kind. And the coach not very happy with that free kick, but it was in a position they were so close. A difficult one to any sort of set play.
Harry Kewell. Liu Wai-Feng kept pace with him superbly. Troisi. Header by Holland. Kewell got a little nudge, but nothing doing in terms of the penalty appeal.
I'm sure he got a nudge. Wei-Feng, very experienced defender, knew exactly what he was doing. Little ball from Troisi to the back post. James Holland had pulled out there, just nods this down, and just a bit of experience there from Wei-Feng. It's certainly a different China than what we saw over in Kunming.
Well, the pressure's off, Robbie, isn't it?
I can tell.
That's what they struggle to deal with, the expectations of their supporters.
They certainly didn't play anything like this in Kunming. They were very negative on their own turf.
They still lead, thanks to Sun Xiang's goal. Needs a good delivery from James Holland. Australia's set pieces in recent months have been a bit hit and miss. That's a good one from Holland, and it's Miller Jedinak just wide of the post. Not far away.
No, it wasn't, because you can tell by the reaction of the goalkeeper. Song Zhenyu, concerned, scrambling across his line, diving to his left-hand side. It's a good free kick from James Holland into a good area. And that's a great effort from Jedinak. Attacks the ball. just directing that towards the top corner.
Good free kick, though, from James Holland. Very useful thing to have in your armoury. Somebody who can deliver good set pieces on a regular basis.
Gets a great lead, he attacks the ball, gets across Yulong. He's a little bit unlucky, just couldn't direct it enough. Yednak.
Australia's performance is certainly improving. Ruben Zadkiewicz is having to be ever so mindful of both Du Zhenyu and, on that occasion, Gao Lin.
Well, he's getting worked the most, isn't he? Most of the Chinese attacking players come down this side and that left-hand side, and Nikolai Topor-Stanley's had a relatively quiet start in this match.
There's just going to be a slight delay before the corner's taken. The Chinese goal scorer Sun Xiang struck down to the turf. I just wonder whether he's tweaked a muscle. Well, he'll get some treatment, and we can continue with the Chinese corner. Hooked in with real venom towards the near post. Up by Zhao Zhanbo. That should be the goalkeepers. It is. Wants to get Harry Kuehl going straight away. Direction sadly awry.
Yeah, sliced that off the outside of his boot. Harry Kuehl had made a great run. He's completely unmarked on the right-hand side. In fairness to Michael Pekovic, he saw it. Fortunately, just sliced his clearance.
There's Sun Xiang, who's okay. Following a bit of spray from the physio. That's well won in midfield by Valeri. Troisi. Round the fullback, James Troisi! It'll be a corner for Australia. Could have been more.
That was the run from Carl Valeri. That's what he's good at, James Troisi. Getting around the outside of his man. He's so quick. Just maybe takes it a touch too far. Look this, he stands up his defender, moves it with the inside of his right boot. There just maybe a touch, otherwise the shot would have been on, with any sort of connection from Valeri, and it would have been 1-1.
Corner from James Holland. Away virtually on the penalty spot by Zhao Zhanbo. Troisi, good positive play moments ago. And he's held up on that occasion and is rightly pulled back for the foul.
Well, he fouls Gao Lin, but I don't mind that. You know, with a player like James Troisi, just a minute ago he skips around his defender. Very nearly a goal for Australia. That time he gets tackled. That's what you get with players like him. You only need him to get one pass once, maybe you get a goal out of it.
Here comes China again, though. Gao Lin, it's a real opportunity for two, and again it's that man Sun Xiang. This time with his weaker right foot.
No, luckily it was on his right foot. Nice little move. Good front play from Gao Lin. There's the little back heel. Sun Xiang goes into the penalty box. He hits that one off balance on his weaker foot. But it was a real half chance. Coming through the middle of that Australian defence far too easily.
Sure, Tim Verbeek is learning lots from this display thus far from his young side, both good and bad. Oh, that's whacked at Zhao Zhanbo.
Well, he didn't lose possession.
Even he can smile about it.
Straight into the mid-drift. That's what you call a wall pass.
Valeri forced to turn back towards his own goal. Valeri, incidentally, is the only player tonight who has to be a wee bit careful. He's on a yellow card. And another one would mean he would miss the first game in the next phase of qualifying, the draw for which takes place on the 27th. That's this Friday in Kuala Lumpur. You'll see it on Fox Sports News. There are some potentially mouth-watering games in prospect for Australia later on in the year. This is Jade North, to Ruben Zadkiewicz, who's had a bit of a mixed bag in his first international outing thus far. But it's a position where he's played today, right back, that Pimberbait could do with some cover. If he's going to play Brett Emerton further forward, of course he does have Luke Wiltshire that he can stick in there as well. So it's a big chance for the Derby County man.
Well, after Brett Emerton's performance against Qatar, 2-goal performance, it wasn't only about the goals. I'm sure Pimberbait will be considering just leaving Brett Emerton up there. Wiltshire did a fine job at right fullback. He's played there before, of course.
This is Troisi. Fancy the crack. Why not?
They just opened up a little bit in front of him. It's a long way out. It's going to take something special to beat Song Shenju from there. Good first touch, takes it to the side a little bit, and in the end just getting closed down. Maybe had to take it a little bit quicker than he would have liked.
I do like the fact that he's positive though. He's trying to take on his man, not frightened to have a shot. It's a bit astray from Matthew Sporanovic and could put Australia in trouble here. Garland's ball in, it took a deflection which made it easy for Michael Pekovic.
Du Zhenyu coming in from the left-hand side, but Matthew Sporanovic, that is certainly not the ball to be playing. Play percentages at the back there. And very nearly punished for that mistake. Playing across his goal.
This is Jade North, who with 21 caps is a real veteran in this team. Kuhl, who is the daddy of them all, with 35. But we could call him Daddy Kuhl. Troisi. Now Zadkiewicz. Good positive run and he'll get the corner.
That's where he's most comfortable. And you talked about him being a replacement at right back. To be honest, I'm not really sure if he's a great defender. I know he's good going forward. He's got a lot of energy, great enthusiasm. And it's certainly this end of the pitch where I think he's more effective, Ruben Zadkiewicz. He's a destabiliser of defences. He's not really known for the last pass or scoring goals, but what he does is move defenders around.
Holland with a corner. Australia looking to grab an equaliser. Good punch by Song Zhenyu. Holland will get another go. Plenty of time to tee it up too. Up goes Topper Stanley, and he's got plenty of height, but so too is the keeper.
No, the keeper's done well. He's getting a bit of a boo because he had a bit of a roll around.
He's just getting the feel of the turf.
Well, I can tell you, well, we walked on that turf. It's very cold turf as well. It's a very cool evening. It's very wet and damp out there.
And in fairness, so far, it's played all right.
It's played okay. Well, it's played better for China, but certainly the passes seem true enough. And I think we were talking about the state of the pitch and it not being good enough. Well, really, you can't blame the stadium. So many games being played here. Rugby League last night, another one tomorrow. Maybe the FFA need to look ahead and have meetings with the NRL and the AFL, less the AFL, I guess, but about the use of venue, when fixtures are going to be played, and if need be the case, if they can't come to an agreement, you simply go elsewhere.
Either that or some billionaire should just build us our own stadium. This is Du Zhenyu. Touched by Zhao Zhanbo. This is well worked again by the Chinese. Zhang Yaokun getting inside Nikolai Topor-Stanley. Still Zhang Yaokun. Eventually the Perth Glory fullback just got back to do enough.
Well, he got isolated, Nikolai Topor-Stanley. Yaokun taking him on. Come inside, there was a lot of space in there. He needed a bit more cover, but luckily for Australia, they have his shooting boots on. Let me say, China have been in control of this match.
That's controlled by Jedinak, though. That's
the wrong option.
I don't know what you call that.
What's the wrong option? Heading towards the touchline, completely off balance. Rush of blood from Mile Jedinak.
There's perhaps a bit of over-eagerness there, isn't there, on the part of these young players? Big crowds, big occasion for them, big opportunity. There are a few mistakes that have crept in here and there, which I suppose is only to be expected.
I would expect them to get better as the game goes on. Like I said, a lot of enthusiasm, maybe just making the wrong decision because of that. But China, if Australia can get some momentum, they are a team that certainly drop their heads rather quickly. If Australia can get a bit of momentum, a bit of intensity, sure we'll see China falling further back into their own half.
Bruce Jitte just had the one real opportunity thus far. And after 20 minutes, that centre from Harry Kewell. It's really been Australia's best moment. That was Jitte, this time returning it to Harry Kewell, who can hit them from long range.
It's great to see he's got the confidence to take that. He gets underneath it, takes it on his right foot. Good leap from Bruce Jitte, just nods this down. Maybe just doesn't get over it enough. Certainly has the confidence to take it on.
Jitte. Just a little touch for the outside of the boot as he tried to skip around Zhu Yunlong. It was a bit too wily for him. I agree with the pre-match comments made by John Cosman. I think he's going to be a big player for Australia in future years, Bruce Jitte. It's not a great ball from Troisi. There's the Australian bench tonight. Ante Kovic, the reserve keeper, David Williams, Christian Saki, Stuart Mushalik, Neil Kilkenny and Rodrigo Vargas are the options for Pim Verbeek. One or two interesting choices in there, Robbie, particularly David Williams.
Well, more Olympic team players. And that's what this game seems to be all about. A great crowd, really, considering how many players are missing, and I think it also shows the pulling power of one certain Harry Kewell as well.
I think it's also the pulling power of the Socceroos, if you want to use that horrible word, the brand. The brand as yet has not really stamped its mark on this match. This is Jedinak. It's a good run by Topor-Stanley. Again, the control just let him down somewhat. Back to Valeri. Troisi's touch. Jite and Holland waiting on the edge of the box. Solid challenge by Troisi, a bit too over-eager for Khalil Ibrahim Al-Ghamdi. We're into the final 5 minutes of a first half that will give plenty of food for thought for Pimverbeek, Robbie.
Well, and I think it's understandable. So many players, so much inexperience in the side. Whatever you say about China, in spite of them being without likes of Zheng Ji and Han Peng, it's still a very, very experienced and full-strength squad from them. So it's been a big ask for these players, but I do believe they'll get better as the game goes on. And possession-wise, they've certainly done a lot better in the last 15 minutes.
This is Sun Xiang, whose goal after 11 minutes still divides the two teams. Jade North under pressure from Gao Lin.
That's good play, isn't it? Not only does he track back, wins the ball, but he keeps possession, finds Zatkovic.
This is Kuhl. Square ball finding Carl Valeri. Good strike, punched clear by Song Zhenyu.
That's a great strike from Valeri, a lot of power. Song Zhenyu preferring to punch that. Wasn't a very convincing punch. There he hits that with some venom. It's moving in the air. And it's a, well, unorthodox technique from the goalkeeper. I think Pimverbeek, talking about his half-time, will obviously want to see a bit more in the final third. Last 15 minutes, a lot of position in these areas here, but that sort of pass looking to the final third.
Getting that does find Kuhl, and then Jite!
Ooh, it's beautifully set up by Harry Kuhl. Just cushions it on the chest. And Jite really should do better. Middle of the goal, the edge of the penalty box. Must hit the target, should hit the target from here. Look at that, beautifully cushioned down. Maybe the ball just doesn't come down enough for him. And he gets underneath it. That was certainly a decent chance.
Well, Bruce Jite still looking for his first international goal. It's only his fourth cap. He's had a couple of sighters. He's actually a ball boy here, would you believe? Bruce Jite back in 1999 when the Socceroos played Manchester United. He was walked out by one Jurgen Klinsmann. Here he is, 9 years later, strutting the same turf as a player. He'll be disappointed that he plays that one wide of the target. My apologies, I'm told it was the FIFA All-Stars, not Manchester United. I think that was part of the same tour though, wasn't it? Around that time.
Well, you can feel it in the crowd as well, very subdued. His first half performance from Australia. I just get the feeling we're going to see a lot better in the second half. Pimverbeek, maybe tweak a few things, do a little bit different tactically.
And they get back on level terms before then. Holland's chip. Kuhl is furious that he didn't get a free kick, but I think the referee is informing him that he played advantage.
I think he did. Ball went out to James Holland in a good position. Jite made the run, shape to come and go around the back, and that's what Holland saw as he looked up. Then Jite checked again, come towards the near post. Here's what Harry's talking about. Well, it's fair play to play advantage. There you see the run, and Harry's certainly not happy.
That conversation continued for quite some time as you were watching that replay. No card issued. Offside flag has been raised against Jite.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a minimum of 1 minute time added on.
There we go, you heard it loud and clear. I'm sure the half-time whistle can't come quickly enough for Pimba Bank. Need to be a rousing team talk at the interval. This big crowd who's turned up has been largely subdued. Need to be given a lift by the team. Jite. It's an awkward one to control for the former Adelaide United man. Valeri. Headed by Zhang Yaoquan. That's it for a first half that has been largely frustrating for Australia. Sun Xiang's goal was an absolute beauty after 11 minutes. He's had one other chance besides. Bruce Jite has probably had Australia's best effort with a header that just flashed wide on the 20-minute mark and maybe should have done better with another one. But overall, it's not been a great performance by these young Socceroos, and I'm sure Pimba Bank, along with captain Harry Kewell, will be urging them to do a lot more in the second period. Half-time at the ANZ Stadium, and it's the Chinese fans who are celebrating at the moment because their team leads Australia by a 1-0.
Captain Harry Kewell, another solid 45 minutes hit out, and he's had plenty of attention as well. He's been pretty verbal in his demonstrations to the referee for some of the treatment that's been dished out by the Chinese defence, but it's been another solid 45 minutes, as we said, from the captain of Australia's national team, Harry Kewell. We're waiting to find out what club he's going to join in the next European season, but for now at the ANZ Stadium at half-time, Australia down by 1-0. Care of that 12th minute effort from Sun Xiang, the left fullback of China. Let's have a look at the statistical tale of that first 45 minutes. Australia down by the goal, as we said. They've had more of the ball than their visitors tonight. That's what they've done with the ball, I guess, which is going to be the most spoken about point. 54% of the time in China's half. 2 corners to 1, 3 offsides against Australia, 2 for China. 18 fouls in the match, not a lot of stoppages, and thankfully no yellow or red cards. The attack statistics, 7 shots on goal from Australia, just the 4 from China. 1 each on target. 17 balls into the penalty area, pretty much split evenly, and just the 1 save forced by the Chinese goalkeeper, Zhong. Well, watching that first half with me were former internationals and Fox Sports regulars Paul Trimboli, Ange Postecoglou back from Greece, and John Kosmina fresh from the makeup room and his efforts with the football superstar. Guys, what do you make of that first half? Trimmers, to you first.
Well, we knew it was going to be a nervy start. So many new players in the team, so many young guys, and they got off to the worst possible start, didn't they? A cracking goal from the Chinese. The Aussies will be a little bit disappointed with their positioning, first at the throw-in, then in the box when the cross came in. But they worked their way back into the game. But at the start, I think they were sitting a little bit too deep. We saw that as a bit of a problem when they played Ghana a few weeks back, and it was a little bit the same. But as you said, they started to get into it as the half wore on, and hopefully they'll gain a bit of confidence.
Ange, most of the starting 11 has been through your coaching at some point. Are you very patient with what you've seen? Are you jumping the gun and saying that they're not up to it?
No, look, and I said it before the game, and I think Pimba Bank said it, it's a little bit of a false economy. Because they are playing for our national team does not make them international players. You know, they're testing the waters, they've got an opportunity. I think part of the problem is that there's so many of them in this side. It's not like we're blooding 1 or 2 youngsters. And we looked slightly disjointed. Obviously the players are nervous, probably a bit unsure of their positioning, and we just haven't been cohesive at all. But you know, you wouldn't say that you would rule anyone out on this performance or on my performance, and I'm sure Verbeek won't. But as I said, every opportunity is a chance for these young players to impress, and you have to say not many have taken it so far.
Well, certainly the major stake that was claimed was from the left fullback of China, Sun Xiang, who in the 12th minute let rip with a left foot rocket. He's a very good player, of course. on the books of Shanghai Shenhua, and most recently has been a teammate of Jason Kalina's at PSV Eindhoven in the top league, the champions of Holland no less. He's a wonderful player of a team that struggled. He's had a very good campaign for China. Pretty excited by that goal, Cozzy. Let's hear from you. Where did this go wrong for Australia? Why are they chasing the goal?
We fell into the trap that a lot of players make. They get numbers behind the ball, but no one actually does their job. And if you look at, we completely outnumbered China in the box. We had no one sitting on the edge of the box, which was the danger area. For me, Mile Jednek should have been sitting in the D at the edge of the box on that right-hand side of the park. That's his role, and he wasn't there. He'd followed the ball. And when you've got young players in the squad, they do tend to ball watch. It's something new for them, and the occasion can overawe them. The tempo of the game, the lack of experience, all those sort of things come into the equation. I wouldn't panic too much about what we've got to deal with. In the second half, I think certainly in the second half of the first half, we proved that we've got enough there to go back and probably even win this game.
Well, there's no doubt it's too early to panic, and the young guys have had 45 minutes of hard football. In fact, this team has put together a number of chances that could have been converted. Another day, another half yard here or there in Australia could have troubled the scorers. Trimmers, as we watch these highlights, the two central midfielders, Mile Jednek and Carl Valeri, we talk about them in attack being too close to the defenders and too far away from the strikers, but then the reverse is the case when we concede the goal. As Cozzy said, that part of the field isn't quite working for Australia structurally.
No, not really, and it can be a confidence thing too, because I think when you're a young player, your first instinct is you want to sit back close to your defence. They need to have the confidence to push out. It brings the defence up, but there's no surprise that most of the key moments in the attacking sense came through Harry Kewell. I mean, he's the guy who's got to get on the ball. There's a lot of inexperienced players. He needs to be the one who's driving them forward. We see there, Carl Valeri, probably one of the few times he actually took it upon himself to step forward into that big hole that Harry's actually leaving, and he won the ball, got it forward to Troisi, who showed some confidence, and he nearly got the tap in at the near post. So one of those midfielders has to push forward.
Well, he broke well, Cozzy, there, Carl Valeri, and linked up with James Troisi, the Adelaide product. He's had a bright first half.
Most of the time, Carl will sit and Mile Jednek will try and get forward. You mentioned Harry before. I think Harry is almost too square with Bruce Jeté. I think Harry needs to actually start standing or filling up the hole in behind Bruce. So he occupies the two Chinese midfielders. One of them has suddenly got to say, well, hang on, we've got to have a look here. Or if they don't, one of the centre-backs has suddenly got to drift in. Then you've got to look at getting either James Holland or James Troisi in behind. And that's one thing we're not doing that China are. China have got wide guys that are penetrating. The Aussies aren't doing that. We're not getting width, we're not getting in behind. Ruben Zakovic has made some runs outside of James Holland a couple of times in the first half, but it hasn't happened on the left-hand side of the park.
Ruben has got forward once or twice. Ruben Zakovic we're talking about pre-game. John Kosmina, you said, well, you postulated that the right Ruben Zakovic, if he has a split personality, would turn up. Which one has come to play today?
Oh, I got to wonder about this one here, but it's what instruction did he get from Michael Pekovic? And that's the thing there. It's the alternative was to play it out for a corner. Now, it was on Pekka's right foot, so, maybe he thought, well, I can get away with this because it's close enough. But, look, in terms of getting forward, I think Ruben's been great. Defensively, he's won stuff in the air. He's doing a good job. The football Ruben's turned up tonight.
OK, well, it's time for a break. Everything to play for here at the ANZ Stadium. Australia down by a 1-0, care of Sun Jiang's left foot screamer. And this, of course, is coming to you in high definition. Check out, if you want to upgrade your Foxtel subscription, 131 999, and all those pictures will look 5 times sharper. We're back right after this for the second half. That Socceroo scarf is being waved around pretty bravely and with plenty of verve from the Australians who've gathered to watch Mile Jednek and the young Socceroos as they've gathered here at the ANZ Stadium. But it's that strike from Sun Jiang after 12 minutes that has given China the lead by a 0 here at the Olympic Stadium at Homebush, now known as the ANZ Stadium. Let's get out to the sideline. Mel McLaughlin is with John Aloisi.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Yep, John, after that first half, it's been a bit shaky for the Socceroos. What were your impressions?
Well, my impressions were that I'd like to see Harry play wider. You see, whenever he was dangerous is when he went wide. He got a great cross in for Jeté, and I thought that Jeté probably could have done a little bit better with that. But saying that, I'd like to see Holland also move more to the middle because he's dangerous. He makes dangerous runs in the box, and out wide I think he's a little bit wasted. But I think Mile Jednek's been good. He's been dangerous when he's gone forward. He's had a header that's gone close, and he's also been defensively very solid.
A bit frustrating for you sitting on the sidelines watching all these chances go by?
Yeah, it is a bit frustrating, but saying that, the young boys are doing quite well. The Chinese haven't really had that many chances to score. They had a great, they scored a great goal from outside the box, but you know that the players defensively have been all right.
All right, thanks a lot, John.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mel and John. Let's get back to our match callers, Simon Hill and Robbie Slater, for all the second half action.
Well, China's first goal against Australia in 24 years leaves Australia's 27-year unbeaten home record in World Cup qualifiers under serious threat. The second stringers, let's be fair, have struggled. Hopefully the second half will avert any China crisis. That's the scoreline. Sun Xiang's goal after 11 minutes, and what a pearler it was too, in fairness. Leaves the young players in green and gold needing a much bigger performance second half. That's a good long throw-in by Topper Stanley, causing a bit of chaos inside the Chinese penalty box. They'll aim to spend a lot more of this second half in China's final third, and hopefully Robbie Slater with a bit more end product.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the scoreline there, and it's one that really you can't argue with. China, I think, shading that first half. A wonderful strike by the number 3, Sun Xiang. It gives us that scoreline. I'm wondering what Pim Verbeek's message would have been in the dressing rooms. I think it would have been very calm, and particularly moving the ball a little bit quicker. I think he would like getting a bit more out of those wider players. James Holland, who's not naturally a wide player, and certainly can tuck in, get Zadkovic forward more often. And James Troisi, who I thought was one of the pick of the Australian team in the first half, certainly looked sharp, nice and positive, trying to get the ball to him nice and early.
It's Xu Yunlong, who's picked up a knock to the left-hand side of the face as he was perhaps contesting that long throw-in by Nikolai Topor-Stanley. Troisi has certainly attempted to be positive.
They had one moment darting in the penalty box and nearly resulted in a goal, but also I think the message is maybe a bigger influence from Harry Kewell, the most experienced player out there, the captain.
Yeah, the next ball was again a little aimless. It's well held up by Gao Lin. Wang Dong switches it superbly to Du Zhenyu, but unfortunately for him, he's a metre offside.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be. He's looking across the line. Maybe he's run slightly too early, so you can see right across the line there. I think he got that one just about right.
Zadkovic forward looking for Harry Kewell. Li Weifeng is there. Kewell uses the body well. Now Holland. Jite the target. China comfortably away to Du Zhenyu. What about that for a pass? Here's Wang Dong in behind Valeri. Support arriving now from Gao Lin. Valeri has done superbly.
Yeah, he's done well. The referee could have played advantage there as well in possession of the ball. What about that for a ball from Du Zhenyu, one of the pick of the Chinese players in that first half? Wang Dong, as he took that ball on, I just thought he was going to pull the trigger. Took an extra chance, and the chance was gone.
Kewell has dropped a little bit deeper. 1-2 with Troisi. Zadkovic. Cross took a very heavy deflection and heavy challenge too by Bruce Jite on the goalkeeper.
They didn't need to, because I think the cross had taken a deflection. It was going out, and Australia would have had a corner. Here's the cross from Zadkovic, slight deflection. Jite cannoning into the goalkeeper, gives away the free kick.
Well, he's a big boy, is Brucey. Looked like a cruiserweight boxer, so when you bounce off him, you know about it. Zhen Yu, who plays for Changsha Jinde in the Chinese Super League. Big fella himself, 6'3" tall. After a few running repairs, he's all right. Li Weifeng will take the restart though. Crowd trying to rouse themselves out of their slumber, perhaps give a bit of a lift to the team, sensing that they need them. Lin gets the throw-in for China. Joe North, his 22nd cap tonight, moved to Club Bruges. A reported move has fallen through, so he remains a Newcastle Jet for now. Li Weifeng. And out of play, and the expectation they would get a free kick. Following Jite's challenge. Looks to me like Harry Kewell is playing a little bit deeper at the start of this second half, Robbie.
Well, he's trying to get more touches on the ball. Probably Verbeek has said, well, there's no point staying too close to Jite. It's difficult to find him. Maybe find a bit more space, dropping in between Valeri and Jednak.
This is Kewell. Tightly watched as always. Wonderful left foot tries to tee up Jite. Back with Zadkovic. Kewell, touch with the right boot, attempted shot with the left, just wouldn't sit for Harry Kewell.
It just wouldn't come down quick enough, would it?
There's a bit more urgency about Australia though, and you can hear the urgency on the Chinese bench. They're desperate for the 3 points. To the World Cup or not. This is Holland. Lovely control. Well anticipated too by Carl Valeri, and what a strike that would have been.
Oh, it was a great first touch as well. Fails to hit the target. Set up nicely for him. Ball played back. Gets in front of Wang Dong. He's for a touch with the outside of the boot. Takes it on the volley. Just couldn't get the direction.
He's not a regular goal scorer, Carl Valeri, but has netted 5 last year for Grosseto in Serie B. Of course, scored the winner, which got them promoted from the 3rd tier in Italy the season before. That's a beautiful ball over the top, and this could be a second for China. Unfortunately for Australia, Chu Bo is off the radar with the finish.
No, it's a great run as well. He comes inside, then pulls off the shoulder of Nikolai Topo-Stanley. He gets caught looking towards the ball. Topo-Stanley hoping for a flag. There was none. And Chu Bo, it's the finish that lets him down. That was a real let-off for Australia.
But a couple of warning signs again for the green and gold. Start of the second half. Balls in behind. China have got a man down, Xu Yunlong, who was in the wars some moments ago as well. Harry Kewell just saying to the opposition, let's calm everything down. I have to confess, I didn't see what happened to Xu Yunlong. Not sure whether you did, Robbie.
No, I'm with you. The players were approaching Yakun and Chu Bo approaching Harry Kewell. It's Bruce Jite with the challenge. And Harry Kewell.
Well, did he put an arm across the face of Xu Yunlong? I'm not sure it was intentional, even if he did.
Whatever it was accidental.
He's had a knock to the left ear, knock to the face.
Well, as a central defender, he's got to expect
Exactly.
that. Well, certainly not in Harry Kewell's makeup. Swinging arms.
Just checking. 2 eyes, nose, mouth, they're all still there. That's Australia who has the set piece. James Holland is very eager to take. China still down to 10 and they want to get back to their full complement quickly. We sense a bit of frustration from the crowd too. Tempo perhaps beginning to rise, but the flag is raised.
Offside, but the ball wasn't a good one in either. China rehearsed defensive move. Catches them all offside.
Well, they played it pretty well too, in fairness. 1 out, all outs. Jake Gould's header. It's misjudged really by Jite. Top of Stanley's header. Where is the inspiration going to come from? Sun Qian to Du Zhenyu.
That's what they've done well, China, haven't they? Movement, moved the ball quickly. They're back over on the right-hand side. That's where it started. Went from right to left, back to right.
This is Wang Dong looking for Du Zhenyu at the far post. He'll retrieve it. Australia again very fortunate.
Pass come off the crossbar. Wang Dong just digging that to the back post and beat everyone.
Now Kuehl as Australia go route 1. Jite in behind and over the top.
A difficult angle. Trying to turn himself and get a shot on target. Got the ball at the back. Michael Pevkic just looks. That off the top of the crossbar. And away to safety. It goes straight up the other end. The Australian counter-attack. He's off balance. That's a difficult one to hit. There's a good little interchange between Jite and Harry Kewell. But Yu Long, Chinese central defender, doing enough to send Jite away from goal. He's had a tough night with those two. Wei Feng, Yu Long.
Flicked on by Jite, but nobody's there for Australia. That's the problem with withdrawing Harry Kewell to a deeper role.
Yeah, you find Jite isolated, especially with Troisi and Holland staying very, very wide in that attack. And a little tactical switch there from Verbeek, switching those two players. Troisi now over on the right-hand side, James Holland on the left-hand side. I don't think that's a bad move. I do think Troisi is much more effective on the left.
There is Troisi on the right. Showed too much of it to Li Weifeng, Chinese captain. He feels he was obstructed there by Zadkiewicz. Kuehl. Top of Stanley joining in with the attack. Looks for James Holland. Gave him a bit too much to do, and Holland's impeded his man.
Yeah, Holland was on the wrong side of Yao Kun. Just a little tug on the shirt, lets China off. And still the Australians struggling to find rhythm in this game. You have to credit China with a lot of that. They're closing down quickly, and when they get the ball, they move it quickly. And they're the ones, in fact, that have looked the more likely in this second half.
sure they will feel, even though it is a second-string Socceroo team, why couldn't they have played like this for the rest of the group section? Second half possession stats, Australia well on top. Nothing to show for it as yet.
James Troisi just closing that one down. I do think one of the problems with Gao Lin being really the only striker right up on point for China. At times Australia have had 4 across the back line, really picking up one man. China have certainly outnumbered Australia in that midfield area, and that's why it's been very difficult to find any space in there, particularly for Harry Kewell. As soon as this ball goes forward, there's Gao Lin challenging for it. There's 3 shirts, Australian shirts. When it comes back into the midfield, there's more red shirts. Nikolai Topor-Stanley playing on the left-hand side is not really an attacking left fullback. And if you look to the bench, which way he could change this Pim Verbeek as the half goes on. David Williams is a possibility in an attacking sense.
Well, more on that in a moment, because a change is imminent for Australia. Meantime, we'll watch this free kick, which is taken short to Holland, up towards Topor-Stanley. And Lee Wai-Fang finds Chubo very comfortably. Offside Gao Lin, and that change will be David Williams. We're not sure for whom. Word reaching us that it might be James Holland who's the man to make way. Meantime, up towards Jite.
And those sort of balls up there, very difficult for Jite up against. And we talked about those 2 central defenders, Wei-Feng, Yun Long. Had a ball out there. Better option was Zadkovic, who pushed up on the right-hand side. What David Williams will give you is an injection of pace. Very quick, very direct. It's similar in style to James Troisi, maybe.
Well, it'll be our first look at him at senior level in this country since, of course, he left Queensland Raw after the first year of the A-League. Now plays with Brøndby in Denmark. Australia get back on level terms before he gets on the pitch. This is Troisi. It's very tight in there. Kewell manages to find some space. Troisi lined up the cross. It was way too deep. Now the change will be made.
No, it is James Holland that comes off. What a promising move that was. Just the final delivery from Troisi, just overhit. Good little combination between him and Harry Kewell. David Williams comes on.
For his international debut, man who scored 24 goals for Australia at junior level. If he could find one tonight, he'd make 70,000 supporters very, very happy. As Robbie says, he's very quick. Good also to see that Australia now have 2 Indigenous players on the park in Williams and Jade North. Long may it continue, and let's hope there are a lot more down the line. Snipped in first, deft touch by Jite. Kewell, and Troisi was steaming through the middle.
And Harry Kewell was trying to work that onto his left boot. He saw the run of Troisi. There's just too many Chinese players in front of it.
That's a nothing ball really though by Mila Jedinak. Jite does well to make something of it. Troisi picks it up. Now Valeri, square for Jedinak. Here's David Williams, his first touch in international football. Jedenak's not having the greatest little spell with his passing at the moment.
No, he hasn't found his range. He's trying to force it just a little bit too much. It's 3 of those long balls he's hit in the last few minutes.
Had a great season with the Mariners, Meli Jedinak, where he's just signed a new 2-year contract. This is another level altogether. Here is Jedinak. That's a better pass. That's a wonderfully deft touch by Harry Kewell into the path of Williams. Well closed down by Williams. Now Troisi, bit of space perhaps to run at the defence, and again he's a bit over-eager, James Troisi.
Yeah, tried one of those in the first half. There's a better option there, laid into the feet. He had Kewell on the left, Jite on the right. Graham Arnold there in the middle of your picture next to Pim Verbeek and Duke. Very interested observer, of course. He's the coach of the Olympic team.
There's Du Zhenyu. As China threaten again, but Jade North gets Australia out of the hole. Troisi being urged on by this 70,000 strong crowds. I want to see some action in the pointy end of the park. Trying to get everybody behind the ball. Valeri finds a space. Troisi runs on into it. And he shows too much of it to Xu Yunlong. They're almost having to play on the counter now, China. Kewell. It's a bit too cute, even for his own teammates. Wang Dong. Zankovic needs to be aware that Du Zhenyu is there. Now there is some space for David Williams. Wang Dong, I think, attempted to foul Williams. Australia have it back. Jedinak. And it's a nothing ball, really. Now Jite. Can't fault Australia's effort.
They need a bit more width. James Troisi there. Need to get out to the touchline as Carl Valeri picked up that ball. It's much too narrow.
Big strong challenge by Ruben Zankovic. Perfectly fair too. They've certainly upped the tempo.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the commitment, enthusiasm. Just need a bit of quality.
And this man is a byword for quality. Harry Kewell slides it out to Topper Stanley. Needs a good delivery. Up goes Harry Kewell. Back in towards Jite. Needs support, and he chose the wrong option in David Williams.
David Williams there. Carl Valeri just coming into the penalty box straight behind him. That was the better option. Topper Stanley's offside.
With the stoppage, we're going to see China's first change too.
Here's the ball in from Nikolai Topper Stanley. Harry Kewell does well at the back post. Tries to pick out David Williams. In fact, there was James Troisi coming in and Carl Valeri. That was such a difficult ball to play to Williams.
Substitution for the People's Republic of China. Number 13, Xu Yunlong coming off to be replaced by number 14, Wu Hao.
Wu Hao, who is like the man he's replacing, Xu Yunlong, the defender, plays for Shandong Luneng. So it'll be a like-for-like change. Xu Yunlong, who's picked up a couple of knocks tonight, takes his leave. played over 20 minutes to go in Sydney. Australia staring down the barrel, perhaps in the first home defeat in the World Cup qualifier in 27 years. Comes off Jelinek, only to a red jersey in the shape of Wang Dong. Now Du Zhenyu.
How about that for a pass as well from Shambo.
Zanbo, beautiful ball. Here's Liu Zhan. Wang Dong with a little back heel. Now Australia could perhaps break. China have committed numbers forward. This is Williams. Zadkiewicz on the right. I'm not sure that was the best option, and again the move has really broken down. You can hear the frustration from the crowd.
Well, the counter-attack was on. The ball was. Best option was to Harry Kuehl. Momentum was lost.
This is Jelinek. That time he does pick out David Williams, who tried to take it first time and get beyond the fullback all in one movement. That was beyond him. Well, the boldness of youth.
He's trying to do everything at 100 miles an hour. A lot of enthusiasm. He's better off just to try and play himself into the game, get a few good touches. There he's trying to head it over Sun Jiang. Skip around him, but better for him just play himself into the game.
Two number 7s in combats. Jelinek penalised. He's involved in everything at the moment, isn't he, Miller Jelinek? Time with the foul on Zhao Zanbo. Now, confirmation of the crowd figure tonight, 70,054, which was pretty much what was predicted. Another fabulous turnout to watch the green and gold.
Well, hopefully they'll have something to shout about before the end of this game. They haven't had a lot so far. Foul from Zadkiewicz on Gao Lin.
Could be about to get even more tricky for Australia. China's erstwhile captain Zheng Ji, who we're told was suffering with an injury before this game. Looks as though he's going to come off the bench. Well, he is a quality player. Valeri. Oh dear. It's just not working for the Socceroos at the moment. Hence the frustration, which I think is pretty much etched all over Tim Verbeek's face.
Substitution for the People's Republic of China. Number 7,
Here's the change for China, their second substitution. Zhao Zanbo makes way for Zheng Ji, the only place for Charlton Athletic in the English Championship. Now Australia at least have themselves a corner.
He's done well there, David Williams. Sun Jiang trying to shepherd that one out. David Williams' persistence wins the corner for Australia, to be taken by Harry Kuehl.
Topper Stanley makes his way forward. His height could be useful from this set piece, but it only finds a red jersey. Zhang Yao Kun. Kuehl might get another go. Twists and turns on his right boot. He chips towards the far post, and well claimed by Song Zhenyu.
Oh, he's unlucky. He's just trying to stand that one up to the back post. Nikolai Topper Stanley coming in. Just didn't get the right boot underneath the ball enough. Beautiful little dummy to take himself down onto his right foot.
Corner! 1-0 China! 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 1-0
pull back for the foul by Sporanovic. All a learning curve, of course, for these young players. They won't want to lose. Du Zhenyu, support from Sun Xiang. As these players go off to Darwin after this, where the Olyroos will play Chile in a two-game series before heading off to Beijing. Du Zhenyu in towards the near post, partially clear by Jedinak. Attempted overhead kick. Oh, and it's the penalty kick. Foul committed by Ruben Zadkovic. And Australia's fate could be sealed here. He had a lunge at the ball. Did he take the man?
Well, there's no need in the penalty box. He's facing the wrong way anyway, Yao Lin. Oh, he just kicks him in the back of the leg. Well, he does go down very easily, but in the penalty box, you just don't take the risk. Zheng Ji, who's just come on.
Zheng Ji with a chance to seal the win, which he surely has done with the perfect penalty, and China lead by 2 goals to 0. Or will it? Will it be 2 goals to 0?
I think
no, the referee is saying there was encroachment and it's going to be retaken.
Well, if Zheng Ji takes this and misses, he'll be absolutely filthy with a couple of his players.
They're almost back on the halfway line.
Well, can he do it again? Michael Petkovic, mind games.
Well, Schwarzer saved a penalty in Kunming in February. Zheng Ji for a second time, and he's put it wide! Unbelievable!
There you go.
What an extraordinary couple of minutes. Well, is that the get-out-of-jail-free cards that Australia required? Listen to the crowd now. Here's Zadkovic, who must be the most relieved man inside the stadium. Kuhl. Jedinak. Corner for Australia.
He gets a corner, but good position. Again, it's that quality in the final third, isn't it? Harry Kuhl finding Jedinak with a beautiful piece of play. The Chinese are going down with cramps. This is Wang Dong. He's told to get up.
He's up now. Kuhl takes the corner. Partially cleared, and then a slip just at the crucial moment by Williams. Maybe that's just given these young players a bit of heart.
Well, that was extraordinary, wasn't it? The first penalty from Zheng Ji was perfect. The second one, somebody moved the goal. He's missed the whole goal. It just shows you, doesn't it, when the same player have to retake it. Do you put it the same side? Do you go the other side? Well, that time he went the other side. Of course, he went too far. And that was the man who was the most relieved, as you pointed out, Ruben Zadkovic.
Well, that end is becoming pretty famous for penalty kicks, one way or another, at this stadium. Here it is again. That's the first one, and you can clearly see that players were encroaching, hence the retake. And he's put it wide of the target.
Substitution for Australia coming off.
Well, whilst you were watching that replay, Australia have made another change. Miller Jedinak has been replaced by Neil Kilkenny. Currently playing with Leeds. It's only his second cap. His last one was against Liechtenstein 2 years ago. Australia, against all odds, are still in this contest. This is Du Zhenyu. Gets himself a metre. Good ball in towards the near post, and Sporanovic did well.
Well, they're just hanging on, really. The quality's on the side of China. Neil Kilkenny. Graham Arnold looking for a big Olympics from him.
Final 10 minutes for Pimberbeek's side to keep their unbeaten records in this group intact, at least at home. This is Wang Dong. China, for the most part, have been good value.
Well, without doubt, they've had the quality in that final third. They've zipped the ball about. They've looked dangerous. Gao Lin's led the line well. In all honesty, they've always looked the more likely to add to that 1-0 half-time score. Very inexperienced Australian side. We shouldn't forget that. Maybe just a little too much inexperience for this level. In spite of China having such a disappointing World Cup qualifying campaign, now that the pressure's off, they seem to play a lot better. And where to go for them now, China? Disappointing Asian Cup last year, Simon. We did some of their games in that group with Iran and Uzbekistan. Now knocked out first round of the World Cup qualifying for 2010.
Well, the Asian Cup is again their next target, 2011 in Qatar.
I just think with the resources they have at their disposal, that sooner or later China will become a major force. It really is just a matter of time.
7 million players, according to the FIFA Big Count, and that was a few years ago as well. Population of over 1 billion. Well, here they are losing to teams like Qatar with a population of barely 500,000. They played pretty well tonight. Christian Sarkis is going to come on for Australia. Pimberbeek's third and final change. James Troisi making way. What do you made of James Troisi's night tonight, Robbie?
Well, it's been difficult, I guess, which mirrors the whole Australian side, really. I mean, for me, the best player has been Harry Kewell. He's showed some nice touches, but it's been difficult to pick anyone out, really. Troisi, I thought, had a good first half, looked lively. A couple of good runs. Second half he's found a little bit more difficult. Really didn't play with really much width. Tucked inside quite a bit. But he's a player I like for the future, James Troisi.
In the present, it's Zheng Ji for China. Anticipated by Topper Stanley. Australia gets the free kick. Christian Sarkis winning his second cap. Australia have a shade over 6 minutes to get themselves out of a hole here. Maybe Jite can do just that. He's had the one real clear-cut chance for Australia in the second half. Sarkis. Now Williams. Needs a good centre. Took a big deflection. Easy for the keeper.
They're trying to bend that around Wang Dong. David Williams hasn't had much of an impact off the bench. He's playing in an area of that pitch that isn't in very good condition, I have to say.
Now Topper Stanley totally misjudged the bounce there. Away goes Chubo. Spiranovic across the cover and helped his teammates out of a very sticky situation there. The basic errors, Robbie, which will cost you dearly at this level.
ball was down with David Williams, a miss-hit cross or a deflection into the goalkeeper's arms, and all of a sudden, a few seconds later, China have a corner.
Which Du Zhenyu will take. A whole cluster of bodies around the penalty spot. Good loud shout of keeper's ball from Michael Petkovic. His only option up front though is Harry Kuehl. Suggestion he might have used the hand to control that too. Which was indeed the case. Frustrating night for the Australian captain. He's done his best to try and lift this young team.
Well, I think it's been frustrating for everyone involved, including the 70,000 here.
Real positive, I suppose, for Australia is that these players will hopefully be in the long term better for the experience. The game's still not quite up for the green and gold, and they've found chances hard to fashion.
Well, you've got to give China some credit, don't you? Especially in defence, they've been well marshalled by Wei Feng, Yun Long before he went off, now Wu Hao. Yao Kun and Sun Jiang.
Sarkis with the centre. I think it was Jade North who got the final touch on it.
A lot of bodies there. Couldn't get any power or direction. Here's the ball in. Comes to the back post. Standing start, sandwiched between two Chinese players. It's not even a half chance.
Final change of the night will see the arrival of Han Peng, who will replace Gao Lin.
Number 18, Gao Lin, be replaced by number 9, Han Peng.
Gao Lin's had a good night for mine, for China up front.
Yeah, he's played well. Good movement, led the line well. Certainly held the ball up when it's been necessary. Brought other players into play. He's always looked dangerous.
Zadkiewicz with a huge up and under, which Jite will chase. I tell you, a few of the Socceroos supporters starting to make for the exits. They've perhaps seen enough. It's been a rather disappointing night at the end of what has been an excellent start to the World Cup qualifying campaign.
And we shouldn't forget the work that's been done. Most recently against Qatar, a very good performance in Doha. There was a lot of skeptics that thought we wouldn't get out of this group. It was pulled out the hat, Qatar, Iraq, China. But in the end, Pim Verbeek and his team did it with a game to spare.
Topper Stanley launches a long one towards the near post. Valeri has a bit of an air swing at it. Beautifully brought down by Jade North. It was a very awkward ball to control. And that'll be a corner for Australia.
A set piece, can they get something? They've defended very well everything they've thrown in. Australia, Nikolai Topor-Stanley comes up. He's very dangerous at set pieces. Sporanovic.
Australia's fifth corner. Sarkis whips it in. Sporanovic goes up. The keeper will try and come for it, and he was impeded by Topor-Stanley, says the referee.
No, I think you got that right. Topor-Stanley going in before the ball had come down. Seeing there just bump into the goalkeeper. That's the right decision.
official has just held up the board, which indicates there'll be 4 additional minutes.
4 additional minutes for Australia to save that record. How long was it, Simon? 27 years?
Yep, 1981. New Zealand came away with a 2-0 win. Oh, that's a mistake by Jade North. And again, Australia living on their nerves. Jade North, in fairness, hasn't made too many mistakes at international level there, but he was completely cross with Michael Petkovic.
He got away with that one. I'm not sure what Han Peng was thinking. Ball laid back, and he laid it really into no one at all in the penalty box when he laid it back. Yeah, that for a pass again. They've done that well, haven't they? Switch side to side, China, with regularity and precision.
Australia trying to throw numbers forwards. Last-ditch attempt to salvage a point. Nowhere to go for David Williams. Topper Stanley. Kuhl and Jitte waiting on the edge of the box. Again, they set it up. Left to right, Zadkovic. Not making much progress. Kilkenny. Sporanovic out to Topper Stanley. And that's where it breaks down. It has done all too often tonight.
That's the final third. Harry Kuhl calling for the ball into his feet. That's one of the positives for Australia and Pim Verbeek. Harry Kuhl playing the full game.
Well, he's not a happy man, is he, Pim? Williams. Under 90 seconds to play in Sydney. And Australia have another chance with the corner. China's night. They lead, they've missed a penalty, and Australia salvaged something right at the death. Not with deliveries like that, they won't. Zadkovic back into the mix, up over the heads, and again there's a foul. That may just be that for this young Australian side, whose commitment and effort certainly can't be faulted, but in all honesty, they've lacked a bit of quality.
Yeah, look, lacked rhythm, and you can see that it's a side that's never played together before. Just maybe lacking a little belief in that final third as well. Certainly China, I think, just a little bit too much experience and quality on the night where it's mattered most.
Has anybody in green and gold for you stood up and shouted at Pim Verbeek they should be included in the seniors on a more regular basis?
Well, I think if you look on the performances, no one that's really done that. No, I think, as you said, it's been, they've worked hard, there's been a lot of enthusiasm, but there's still a bit to prove for some of these players.
Yep, Sun Xiang's goal is enough. Australia's first home defeat in a World Cup qualifier in 27 years. Not enough to save China's dreams of going to South Africa, but enough to end Australia's campaign in this group off on a sour note. They'll reconvene in September, no doubt after a lengthy debrief, and no doubt with vastly different personnel. The full-time scoreline at the ANZ Stadium, though, reading Australia 0, China 1. Harry Kuhl makes his way disconsolately to the dressing room. No professional footballer ever likes to lose, but in all honesty, I don't think anybody could say that they weren't beaten by the better side.
No, China, as we just mentioned, the game came to a close at just a bit more, too much quality and experience on their side. We shouldn't lose sight of the fact that this team, a lot of young players playing, maybe just a little bit too hard from up an experienced side as China. And although they've had a disappointing campaign, they came here with their full-strength squad, looking to finish on a bright note, and they get that.
Just again, you just saw a shot there of Harry Kewell in conversation with Tim Verbeek, and the former Liverpool man, very, very unhappy indeed at the performance. I'm sure his Dutch coach will echo most of those sentiments. All right, let's go down to pitch side and hear from one of those who played in green and gold today. Let's join Mel McLaughlin.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Carl Valeri, just catching his breath and having a bit of a drink. Carl, not the best result, but it's been a good campaign. Can you take some positives from tonight?
Yeah, well, definitely. We're in the next phase of the qualifying stage for the World Cup, so it's definitely a positive. We started off a bit nervous, but we worked our way into it, and I think, you know, we had a lot more chances than them. Towards the end, we gave away a bit too much, but, you know, we played okay, and it was a good test for us.
Playing in the middle there, did you see some potential playing with some of the younger guys, just with some combinations with some of the players?
Well, they're all fantastic players, honestly. I know a lot of the 23s from when I used to train back at the AIS, and they're a fantastic bunch of kids and great players, and I think all of them potentially have a future.
Now back to the campaign, it has been a successful one so far. Looking forward to September, what are you going to go and do now?
I'm going to go on holidays, a well-deserved break, I feel. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. But yeah, just have a good break and prepare for what's going to be a tough pre-season.
All right, thanks a lot, Carl.
No worries, thank you.
Carl Valeri with Mel McLaughlin. He will be one of those, no doubt, who will be in the mix when the World Cup qualifiers resume in September. I know that the draw for the final phase of Asian qualifying is on Friday. It's the Chinese fans who are smiling. Not sure Harry Kewell is. Let's go back down to Mel.
All right, so I'm here with Harry Kewell, the captain now. Harry, again, as we just said with Carl, it wasn't the greatest result, but you got some positives to look back on the whole campaign.
Yeah, I mean, it's always disappointing to lose at home, and you know, we take that seriously. I mean, we're not happy about it. I think they really had created only one really good chance, and then I think they played to the ref, and the ref allowed them to play diving around and all that, and some reason decided to give them a penalty as well, which, you know, I'm dazzled by that. But again, you know, I'm proud of the boys. You know, there's a lot of expectation on them, but they just had to go out there and enjoy it, and they did. It was a shame that we just couldn't finish off with 3 points.
You're clearly frustrated with the sort of things that went on the field, as you've said, but does that help you prepare for the next stage of qualifying? Because obviously there might be a bit more of that.
Again, we know that we're going to get that. I mean, we're the top seed there, and we know that as soon as we go out there, you know, the refs against us, everyone's against us, so we've got to play to that. But it's frustrating, you know what I mean? It's not part of the game, you know. You talk about fair play and that, and it's just not that.
What about you personally? Has it been nice to be part of this campaign as a whole, because it's successful so far?
Yeah, it's just nice to be back playing again, and you know, I topped off there with 9 dimension. I felt good. I could have played a lot longer. You know, it's a shame that it's come to an end, but you know, I'm looking forward to going on holiday now, and then you know, getting back to pre-season.
Now, of course, we'll see you again in September for the Socceroos, but any word now? Of course, you've been linked to Roma at the moment. Any word on where you're going to be?
Again, no. There's no word. I was concentrating on all these games, and then I was going to take a break, and then I'll decide my future when I come off my break.
All right, thanks a lot, Harry. Well done.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that just about sums it up in the stands. What can you do? It was that sort of a night for these young Socceroos, but they turned up in their droves again, a crowd of over 70,000. But it's the Chinese supporters who are smiling at long last for them in this group. Sun Xiang's goal won it for China. Join Andy and the boys after this short break for all their analysis.